Afternoon pre-tube, hope everyone's good. Now obviously some shit's gone on over the last few days. Myself and Dave had a discussion during which ESO and Jupiter jumped on at the same time. Now Jupiter saying, oh no, you know, she made out like as if she left of her own accord or whatever. Now these things are there for people to go and check who said what. I can categorically tell you that Dave dashed her. He didn't want her there. He dashed her. Now she made out to everyone, no, left of me on the card sort of thing. I'm welcome to go back or something. I think somebody said, no, it was Nixie actually later on that said Jupiter's welcome to go back for debate or discussion or something like that. Can't remember word for word what she said. Now, I think Nixie said she'd only watched a small amount of that or whatever. Jupiter had obviously been listening for a good, I don't know, at least 45 minutes before that or whatever, before she jumped on with ESO. Now, myself and Dave had covered quite a few things or whatever before Jupiter jumped on, and Jupiter was on there all of a minute, 2 minutes before she got fucked off. So, why lie? Do you know what I mean? Why lie, Jupiter, as if you like left of your own accord and you can go back there whenever? I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? I think the only time you would be able to go back there, realistically. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? I'll have a look at that when I come back. Some big fucking tent there, a load of fucking muskrats in there or whatever. My foundation or some shit. I don't know. I'm gonna have to have a look at that when I come back. So it's just weird, isn't it, when you see like a load of men stood about in dresses or whatever. It's just weird. But yeah, where was that? So yeah, I think the only time Jupiter would be able to go back on there or whatever is to have a fucking back and forth or whatever. Now, I don't think Jupiter would even want that, to be fair, because Dave can keep a cool head or whatever and just keep on point, whereas Jupiter just gets more and more angry and then storms off and does her own life. She does that for a purpose. She does it for the thing of, oh, I'll take all the people from your life to her life. She's always done that. It's proper beg it fucking tactics or whatever. Now, it's one of them, innit? For me, people around this situation or whatever, I've seen all these things unfold. There is people, I suppose, I don't know if Nixie's observed what has gone on in the last however long, year, 2 years, whatever. Probably not. I don't know. Don't want to make assumptions or whatever. But yeah. Now myself and Jupiter, well, she was live. I jumped on there after that or whatever. We've been having civil discussion, and it's one of them. Do you know what I mean? Bear in mind, I'm coming away from all this bullshit in the next couple of weeks or whatever. I was trying to smooth things over somewhat for the people that are left behind on YouTube or whatever. Now, along that conversation, there's many things I could have gone, oh well, actually no, Jupiter, you know, you're making it, you're smearing it on very lightly there or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot more there than you fucking divulging or whatever. kind of trying to remix a lot of shit or whatever. And a lot of shit I just let slide. Do you know what I mean? I just let her run with or whatever. Now, this call that she was trying to implicate eyes into or whatever, oh well, fuck it, you know, I'm going to put it out anyway or whatever, rah rah rah. I don't think Nixie heard that bit or whatever. Yeah, I'm going to have to go over these conversations and whatever and go over the relevant bits, I suppose, with all the remixing and shit that's going on. Now, like I say, this call or whatever to the police. Now, Jupiter has recorded the phone call to the police over the Discord stuff. So, because Jupiter had not seen the CSA dropped into her Discord, she needed a witness or whatever. Now, two people that had seen it was Eyes and Crystal. Now, no, I'm getting that mixed up, sorry. I don't actually know if Eyes has or hasn't or was even part of that Discord, so discard that. Two people that had was Moon and Crystal. Now, both of them said, yeah, you know, I'll be a witness, etc. Blah blah blah. And both gave statements to the police. Now, when that happened or whatever, it's one of them, innit? Jupiter needed these people or whatever to go making the report or whatever, because she couldn't do it because she hadn't seen it. So when they've done that for her, you would you would assume that like Jupiter would be grateful and not stab these people in the back or whatever, because at the end of the day they was doing stuff for Jupiter to help her out of that situation or whatever. The evidence and whatever needed backing up with witness statements, etc. Now, shortly after that or whatever, things have started to crumble around the situation, because Moon and Jupiter had come out and said, oh, you know, we can't talk about it, blah blah blah, this, that and the other. Okay, yeah, we all agree. You can't talk about it if it's an ongoing case of any sort. You can't talk about it. You can't jump online every day and keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it while telling people that you can't talk about it. Anyone knows that will collapse any case. Despite the fucking evidence being deleted. Now, Jupiter said, oh, I waited a couple of weeks before deleting the group, the Discord group, whatever. Now, to me, that's deleting the evidence. It's no good saying, oh, well, you know, I've deleted the fucking group or whatever, but I've kept Discord. Why would you keep Discord but delete the group? That would be a good question, wouldn't it, really? Now, there's loads of things I could have asked you, but like I say, I was trying to smooth things over for people or whatever. Moon is out the picture. For how long, nobody knows or whatever. So at that point I thought, you know, if you can smooth things, neutralise things for people or whatever, cover certain bases for people around YouTube or whatever, it'd be a good thing, wouldn't be a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? If two people aren't going to talk or whatever, and I know the issues in between or whatever, cover the bases. Do you know what I mean? Do it so there isn't any more back and forth, there ain't any more animosity, there ain't any more problems. Do you know what I mean? If people are going to be on YouTube, you know, you got to think, Dave's got a good channel, it goes quite far, he's got over 100,000 followers and whatever. Jupiter, on the other hand, has got, considering the time she's been on there, a handful of followers, which seem to be quite inactive. Just the same people around there that have been there around for most of the time or whatever. Most of them avatars. Most of them never jump on a panel or have ever been on a panel or anything else. Most of them just seem to be avatars. Now, it's one of them, innit? You've got to be able to kind of use the things that are around or whatever. So if Jupiter is on the internet on lives for on average 8, 10, 12 hours a day, sometimes more, like a job, and that's daily, do you know what I mean? Fuck knows how her family life rotates or whatever. I guess Hector and the kids are pretty much sorting themselves out or something for food and washing the clothes and housework and all this just usual shit, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But when Jupiter's online every day or whatever for all them many hours a day, do you know what I mean? She could be of use or whatever. She could actually do some good rather than just doing all this hate fest shit or whatever. And like I say, do you know what I mean? She'll run over to places like Veliz and whatever, cause a load of shit, and then go, right, I'm going to go and do my own live. She does that to drag the people from there to there just to get some views. And even when she does that, the most views she will actually get on there is like 100 people, 120 at best or whatever. Maybe a little more on a fucking, if it's been a big storm in Row or whatever, maybe a few more. But do you know what I mean? Most of them are on there because they don't like her, they're clipping it or they're listening to what's said, to then go back to the other people and go, oh look, Jupiter's saying this, Jupiter's saying that, blah fucking blah. And that, you know what I mean, that's the way it goes over there or whatever. And like I say, handful of useful idiot people around or whatever. There's always a couple of people trapped in the mix which for one reason or another think that Jupiter's a decent person, or I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning is, to be honest, but you will always have in every fucked up fucking scenario or whatever, you will always have a couple of decent people in the mix, which are usually like peacekeepers or whatever, that will try and sort of like, oh, you know, do we need to do this, blah blah blah, this, that and the other. And I get it, do you know what I mean? I do get it, but sometimes it's kind of got to be done or whatever. In my mind, the way I look at it, a channel that is nothing but shit or whatever, it will always kind of, now and again, there'll be people that are kind of exposed to it or whatever, and they might think, oh, you know, this is not a bad channel or whatever, blah blah blah. They're talking about this, they're talking about that, you know, they seem to be on the right side of history or whatever. Now, that's not always the case, is it? Do you know what I mean? Some people have been just say, you know what I mean, just talking about these things or whatever because they know it will attract a certain amount of people or whatever, a bit of a following or whatever. Now, there's been many things where Jupiter has tried to like link onto, and what does she call it? She calls it networking or whatever. It's just basically grifting off the back of anybody else's shit. if you notice, all Jupiter's lives consist of other people's content, and she'll be like, oh, pick up this person, blah blah blah, this, that and the other, proper licky bum bum fucking bullshit or whatever. She does that to try and get them people on her channel. I think people have noticed a few people going on there at the moment, like AY and whatever. Now AY is doing a proper good job, doing his own thing and whatever, exposing these hotels in a professional manner or whatever. Now Jupiter knows full well that will attract good attention or whatever, so she needs to connect into that or whatever, get him on the show, and you know what I mean, she'll always do it like, oh yeah, I'm doing them a favour. It's like, how the fuck are you doing them a favour realistically when you've got the same stale fucking crowd around you, which are 80% trolls, 80% people that don't like you, that are, you would consider trolls or whatever. And a lot of people would, to be fair, when they're coming from these other wonky communities or whatever, places like Velies and all that or whatever, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? These people are going to be tainted people anyway. So how would Jupiter's channel realistically be helping somebody like AY when he's getting proper views, he's got a proper community? How would he be helped by somebody like Jupiter with a dead little channel that's only known for fucked up shit? Not being funny, but it doesn't do anybody any good whatsoever to have somebody like Jupiter, who's a fucking cheerleader, when she's talking about fucking dig up your kid, just because you can't win an argument with another woman or whatever. Or we'll just talk about her dead child and digging the dead child up or whatever and make a song out of it. Now, who does that sound like realistically? Does it sound like Esau when he's singing about fucking the rape of Kaylee or whatever? Very similar. Very similar. Makes you wonder who's rubbed off onto who or whatever. These things are, do you know what I mean? They're not nice in any way, shape or form. Don't matter whether it's coming out of Esau or Jupiter. It's vile on fucking many levels. Where were we? So I don't even know where we was at. Just had to nip out. So the phone call. Now, this phone call had been recorded by Jupiter, which is mad, isn't it? Why are you recording a phone call, making a police report or whatever? What would be the point of that realistically? It's like wacky races. What the fuck is going on there? Now, like I say, why would you even bother recording a phone call going on in your house from a copper to Crystal, making a phone call, making a report rather, to the police? Now, bear in mind, Crystal could have went, nah, I'm having nothing to do with this. Like most people think, fuck that, I don't want nothing to do with police or whatever. Now, she didn't have to help. She didn't have to fucking do anything for Jupiter. Now, when this shit is unfolded and whatever, and then further down the line, everyone's now not happy that Jupiter and Moon are just talking about it, seem to be doing it, using it for getting views and whatever. That's why everybody was saying, do Do you know what I mean? They've done this between them or whatever. You know what I mean? They fucking made this out themselves, and people started guessing, oh, it's probably me. Even that fucking mental one, Mandy Mosley's fucking alternative personality, what's it called? Amphina, did a big breakdown of it or whatever, which Dave actually reviewed, where she was blaming Sean and this, that and the other. That's why people thought it was like an inside job and this, that and the other, because they was milking it for views, they was milking it for attention or whatever. It's one of them, innit? You can't come online and go, oh, well, we can't talk about it, it's an ongoing case, blah blah blah. They even said a gagging order. Now, when you say dumb shit like that or whatever, anybody of sound mind or whatever knows that you're talking shit straight away. You don't get a gagging order for such fucking, you know what I mean, such a minute case or whatever. You get a gagging order when it's something massive. Other than that, you have to pay to fucking do these things or whatever. So yeah, as soon as they've gone down that road, oh, gagging order, blah blah blah, no one can talk about it, but then you're talking about it constantly, day in, day out, day in, day out. People are obviously going to come to conclusions, and that's why you've had people calling it out, you know what I mean, and saying, oh, they're doing this, it's all fucking in-house, whatever. That's why you've even had dumb cunts like Morris ringing the police and all that, saying, oh, she's doing this for attention, she's a fucking troll, blah blah blah. It sounded right at the time, it looked right at the time, and then obviously people fell out around that fucking situation, because, do you know what I mean, they've put their neck out on the line, making reports for her and all this shit and whatever. And that's why you've had people then having a squabble afterwards or whatever, because you're saying, oh, don't talk about it, no one's allowed to talk about it, but then you're talking about it 24/7. Now, for my mind, that's why people fell out, this, that and the other. People have gone a little bit tribal here and there, and shit happens at the end of the day, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Now, when Jupiter then, because people was pointing out how ridiculous it was that they're saying don't talk about it, but yet they're talking about it. That's when Jupiter and Moon and whatever started calling everyone a paedophile. Now, even Moon said it the other day or whatever. To be fair, I know Moon's a cunt and whatever, but most of it did come from Jupiter. I have to be real with that or whatever. A lot of the calling people paedophiles and whatever did come from Jupiter. Now, Jupiter will say, oh, I didn't call anyone a paedophile. Yeah, you did. Of course you did. The moment you're pointing the finger saying, oh, well, I think it's you that dropped it, and there's no shortage of that, there's at least fucking 20 people that got blamed for that. Even I got blamed for that. I'm not even on fucking Discord, do you know what I mean? Technology, as everyone knows, is not my thing. I certainly work on Discord, I certainly work in that group, but yet it doesn't matter, you still get the blame. Now, when you've pointed your dirty fucking finger covered in shit at 20 people or more, labelling them as a fucking paedophile, not being funny, but how can you not be calling people paedophiles when you're saying that they've dropped child sexual abuse into a fucking Discord group, obviously that person would be a paedophile. They're not going to be anything else, are they? But it's like Jupiter's that thick that she can't actually work out that, oh, actually, by doing that, I am labelling these people a fucking paedophile. So she created, realistically, she created the group that was on the opposite side of that, and the more people that was called paedophiles, the more people grouped together. You've given them something to fucking unify on or whatever. Do you know what I mean? When you've called a group of people, well, singular people, paedophiles, you've literally given them a common ground. So you have created that group, if you like, of people that are like obviously not impressed that you've been calling all of them a paedophile. Now, it's one of them, innit? When all this is going and whatever, at what point in time, once you've got people that have gone, yeah, you know, I'll be a witness, blah, 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 this, that and the other, the case is active and whatever, at what point, a couple of weeks down the road of that, would you go, oh, well, what I'm going to do, actually, is delete the group, delete the evidence, and just leave the actual platform, Discord or whatever. Now, Jupiter saying, oh, the police told me that they could get it from that. Well, did you ask him before you deleted it? You didn't, did you? You just deleted it and then was all, oh, the police won't act on it or whatever. There's not enough evidence. I'm sorry, but that is bullshit. The only reason they would say that is because you had deleted the evidence, Jupiter. Anyone who's had anything to do with the police, or anyone that's got common sense, fuck having anything to do with the police, anyone that's got a fucking couple of brain cells that will actually get on with each other or whatever, would be aware of that. The evidence is there. The evidence is there for people, for the police to go over and whatever. The moment you delete that, you've deleted the case, realistically. You've deleted any opportunity for the police to be able to hold somebody to account. Now, only you did that. You can't blame Moon, you can't blame Wendy, you can't blame Dave, you can't blame Crystal, you can't blame anybody other than yourself. Now, even after she'd done that and all that, she still kept coming out with pure shit like, oh, that it's looked at very seriously and blah blah blah, and these things are, everything's going to come out in the wash. What a load of shit. You knew full well when that happened and you deleted all the fucking evidence or whatever, there was going to be nobody held to account. You carried on with that same lines, that same bullshit for fucking months and months and months. So you did actually build up a hate group all on your own, by your own actions. That's just fact. You cannot like it, but that's just fact. Now, the people that had kind of formed a group, if you like, or whatever, the people that you pointed the finger at, half of these people don't like each other. When you got fucking people like Morris in the mix or whatever, you know you fucked up because you put people with Morris that don't even like him, but yet they share a common ground because you fucking made it that way. Now, at the time, Wendy, because of all the clown world stuff and all that and whatever, Jupiter and Wendy weren't talking at that point in time. So Wendy was loving it, thinking, right, well, I'm going to rip her a new arsehole. And she was pointing out all the ins and outs of it and how ridiculous it was, and she was bang on. She was fucking bang on. Everything that Wendy said has been bang on around that or whatever. Now, my only problem, realistically, with Wendy comes down to the clown world period of time. Now, it's one of them, innit? Wendy being Jupiter's co-pilot at the time or whatever, Jupiter would play all this clown world stuff which no one had give a fuck about, no one had took any note of. It had been questioned early on in the early days and whatever, and it was all bullshit. Just fucking spiteful fucking bullshit, putting out people's voice notes and all this whatever, just to try and discredit Team Tommy. That was the sole purpose of that channel. Now that channel had been around for a couple of years or whatever, never got any traction, never got any views, never got any fucking new subs, nothing. Just dormant channel for mentally ill fucking lefties or whatever. Now the moment Jupiter and whatever decided they was going to run with that and keep going through it all, she goes on like she was critiquing it or whatever. Didn't seem like that, did it? Notice she's had to take all them videos down now. Do you know what I mean? People do what they fucking done or whatever, but people are aware at that period of time Jupiter weren't attacking it in any way, shape or form. Wendy didn't seem to be attacking it in any way, shape or form. The only person, as far as I'm concerned, I think Team Tommy just ran with the thing of just ignore them, the wankers. There's no substance to anything, just ignore them, don't give them the light of day. Now because Jupiter persisted for so long, eventually it attracted the attention of Team Tommy, people like Ginger Toner and stuff like that and whatever. Started trying to intervene and whatever, and just kind of show him, you know, this is a load of bullshit, ask him for the evidence or whatever, blah blah blah. And at that point I thought, I'm quite good at fucking pulling the facts out of lying cunts and whatever. I'm good at extracting the truth from situations in general. So over a period of a couple of weeks or whatever, I managed to do that with the help of Luke or whatever, when he's had Mandy on there and whatever, spouting the shit, coming out with all this nonsense. Massive respect to Luke, he let me on there or whatever, because I was asking things on comments and he was letting that fly and whatever, and he said, you know, if you want to jump on, then jump on or whatever. We'll kind of leave you to it, just let you and Mandy kind of have it out. And it was very easy to flat pack the bullshit or whatever. You had people like Simon Lord and whatever trying to intervene, people like Danny Jones trying to intervene, trying to save Mandy from herself or whatever, and it didn't work. End result is we all figured out that actually Mandy's full of shit. There is no substance to anything. It was just all a pack of lies which she made up in her head or whatever. The only things that come of it or whatever is Danny Tomo, yeah, he had been having some sort of sexual relation with one of the survivors of grooming or whatever. Now, I've said from day one, proper bad taste that. Proper bad taste. Considering he's married and all that shit as well, yeah, proper bad taste. But, do you know what I mean? She's a fully grown woman, she's not a child, she's certainly not 15 or, like Simon said, should we make her 14, should we make her 13, should we say 12, shall I carry on? Yeah? They was quite happy to put any number on that just for the sole aim of discrediting Team Tommy, making them look bad or whatever. Now when it turns out she was 26, don't sound so bad, does it? Still bad taste, in my opinion, but it's hardly making Danny Tomo a nonce or a paedophile, as Wendy had been fucking brave enough or stupid enough, whichever way you look at it, to say that shit online or whatever. Now, when Wendy realised I'd pulled the lies out of that whole fucking situation and whatever, I think she had a little change of heart. Maybe realised, fucking hell, have I been used there? Am I a useful idiot to these wonky cunts? And not long after, she came away from it all. And then the attacks started on Wendy and whatever. And just for that reason alone, if she'd have come away from it and there was no attacks or whatever, I would still think Wendy's as wonky as they come, realistically. But she was attacked. They've gone low with the attacks and whatever. Trying to target her granddaughter and all this or whatever. Fucking slime and lord. That guy's creepy as cunt. Yeah, she did. She got attacked left, right and centre and whatever. And I think eventually Jupiter and Wendy ended up being friendly with each other again or whatever. But Jupiter had already come out of all this shit. Oh, Wendy's definitely hope not hate, blah blah blah, this, that and the other. Well, she weren't hope not hate when you was together, was she? And then when you ended up talking again, I'm gathering she's not hope not hate now. From Jupiter's opinion or whatever. Now, like I say, Wendy has actually kind of done it the right way or whatever. She did get used. She did get made a useful idiot out of or whatever. But eventually, when she seen it for what it was, she's come away. She's told everyone Mandy and whatever are just lying cunts and just make all this shit up and whatever. And that's why she got all the attacks or whatever. So at that point, you kind of got to give Wendy some credibility. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's bad what she did, obviously. Calling any man a paedophile is the worst thing you can do, realistically, to a man. But, do you know what I mean? Once she's fucking figured out that actually it's not that case at all. This is a fully grown woman who, it's one, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, whatever's happened probably half of her life ago or whatever, does that mean that she can no longer have a sexual relationship with anyone ever again because some fucked up shit happened when she was a kid? No. She's perfectly able to have relationships in the future. Do you know what I mean? Obviously. Now, I think personally, the worst thing that Wendy could have done when she come away from that group is get settled back with Jupiter. I think that was a big mistake on Wendy's part. Bear in mind all this shit had come out with the Discord and all that and whatever, and too much had been said back and forth. That's why Ghost and Velly and all these wankers can sit back for months on end going, oh, but you sat together now, but you said this about Jupiter and you said this about Wendy and blah blah blah, and just play them off on their own words, what they've said about each other. At that point, I think they fucked up by doing that. I think you should have just kept on a minute. You can be civil, but you don't need to sit with each other and make out that you're friends again now. And why did Wendy say all this stuff about Jupiter's son or whatever? And Wendy's literally taking it on the chin and going, oh well, I lied. Well, you didn't lie though, did you, Wendy? Because Jupiter's actually admitted, yeah, there is some truth to it or whatever. If you remember, she was actually going to do a live to go on about the dangers of finding drugs in the street and spice and whatever. I've actually got it on video where she's going on about it and said, well, there is an aspect of truth to it. I think she was like trying to minimalise it or whatever, but now if you ask her, she's like, no, it's bullshit. Where's the evidence? I'll tell you where the evidence is, Jupiter. you was given the evidence that Danny Jones had sent to Dream Team and Esau and Bleeding, shown you that evidence. Now, is that why that you are manipulated and used and made to run with Bleeding Heart and Esau because they're going to expose you for all that shit? They're going to put it out anyway, you dumb cunt. They're going to use it for as long and as fucking whatever is need be, and then they're going to put it out anyway, because that is the kind of people that they are. Everybody knows that. But you carry on with your delusions, and the people around you that had attacked people like Esau and whatever at the time for you before all this came out, people like Taft, people like Luke, I think. I don't want to reel off too many names, but there's a lot of people around that situation that was having a go, basically defending Jupiter from Bleeding Heart and Esau. Now, obviously, once they've got Jupiter bent over a barrel, sorry for that mental image, but once they've got Jupiter bent over a barrel and running with any fucking shit that they want to or whatever, because other than that, oh, we're going to show everyone this Jupiter and we're going to make you look so bad, and there've been no turning back from that once we put it out. We know how it goes with these cunts. All of a sudden it was, oh, you know, I'm friends with Esau and I'm friends with fucking Bleeding, and I advise everybody to just make a deal, make a pact with them or whatever. Now, they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna bend over a barrel for them wonky cunts or whatever. You did, that much is crystal clear. But no one else is gonna. I think with anybody, if they had anything on anybody, they would just rather put it out themselves rather than be bent over a fucking barrel for them two wonky cunts. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do whatever and you're gonna end up seeing it in the end or whatever, put it out yourself. Put it out yourself, own it, you know what I mean? I actually said on a one-to-one with Jupiter around it, and she didn't deny it. We'll probably go over that at some point. I said to her, do you know what I mean? Even if the worst has happened and what they're saying happened has happened or whatever, what's that to do with you? It's not you that's done it, is it? Yeah, fair enough, it's bad, it's your child or whatever that's allegedly found spice, smoked it, and then ended up beating up the missus and the fucking children or whatever, and end up in fucking Belmarsh. Now, if you listen to Jupiter, half the things that she fucking said or whatever, I actually said that, you know what I mean? I said that isn't actually a stain on you. Obviously, people are going to use it a little bit, but it's better than being fucking held over a barrel by these two wonky cunts or whatever. Do you know what I mean? How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to navigate that? You're just going to let that continue on for the foreseeable future? Because the people around you that you've had attacking or defending you for all that time are now pissy with you, going, well, why have you done this, Jupiter? Why have you done that? Now you're making me the fucking prime target or whatever. Obviously people are happy, and rightly so. But for Jupiter, she don't give a shit. She just wants to protect that little secret. Now, if you listen back to what Jupiter has said along the way or whatever, it pretty much spells itself out. If there was an aspect of truth to it, what's the aspect of truth? What, he did smoke spice, but he didn't beat up the kids, or he didn't beat up his missus? Well, how did he end up in Belmarsh then, if that was the case? It'd be interesting to know where this aspect of truth is, because I think it's a lot bigger than you're making out, if I'm honest. I think what Wendy spoke about at the time and whatever, he's bang on. It's pretty funny that you've got a few people that was around you at the time that then didn't like you, and they've all said the same thing, strangely enough. to me, that I don't believe in coincidences. I think all them people said what they've said because that's what was known to them at the time when you was all friends. Now, like I say, I don't hold Wendy in the same predicament as Jupiter or whatever, or in the same fucking league if you like, or whatever. The only time I've heard Wendy come out with racist shit or whatever is when she was, I mean, you'll see Jupiter used it, I was under duress. No, he wasn't. You just do it because you like doing it. You like being racist. You like falling back on the thing if you can say as much racist shit as you want because you're married to some black midget. That don't work. That don't work. Don't work when Bella's doing it. Oh, I'm married to a white woman and I've got mixed race kids, so I can rip the shit out of anything racist and go on about mixed race kids and all this fucked up shit. It doesn't work. It doesn't work when Bella does it. Don't work when Jupiter's done it. Wendy's actually only done it while under duress by Esau. And yeah, she ended up calling him the N-word or whatever several times and whatever. But that was after he'd gone deep into Wendy or whatever. Going on about a dead husband and worm food, maggot food, whatever it was. So yeah, eventually Wendy snapped and she fucking come out of all that. Now, I understand why she did it, but by doing that you've given the ammunition. And I know Wendy's smart enough to know that that is what she did. Whereas Jupiter, she'll keep doing it daily. She'll sing songs about dead children. Her and Hector, when they lose an argument or can't get the support that they wanted, will pray for the abuse to happen to children, generations of children and all this. Is that normal behaviour on anybody's fucking level, realistically? And do you think having the people like that around your movement, whatever that may be, would be a positive, or would it be a big negative? To me, the answer is very clear. Having people around like that is only going to bring you problems, issues, and you're giving people ammunition to fire at not just them, but the movement that you represent. Now, when you've got Jupiter making out she's the big I am or whatever, so you've got Wendy and Jupiter on the live, Dave jumps on the live on Wendy's, and Jupiter's trying to make out she's the big I am or whatever because she's had Ginger Toner come on, Helgower come on and whatever. You only had that opportunity because I knocked it back, you silly fucking silly cunt. Myself and Wendy, well, Wendy was doing the live, myself and Ginger Toner was on the comments, and Ginger Tony said she's got some footage there, blah blah blah, she wants it to be reviewed, and Wendy was like, yeah, jump on and play it or whatever, and Tony said, I'd rather do it on Dens, to be fair, or whatever, and I said, well, you know, I don't really do lives anymore or whatever. I didn't want anything to do with it, if I'm honest. I said, I don't do lives or whatever, and because all the other stuff has unfolded on Jupiter's or whatever, I think it's only right that you display it over there or whatever, so all the people that she has infected with the bullshit or whatever get to see, you know, the fucking fact from the fiction or whatever. So the following day or whatever, that's how it went down or whatever. Now, if I would have been a bigot that craves a fucking attention and views and all that, I'd have gone, yeah, Tony, you know, I'll spark up alive now, like Jupiter would do or whatever. I didn't do that. I just literally said, nah, you know, I don't really want to be involved in all this madness or whatever. I've done my part exposing the fucking lies and all this shit and whatever. I've dragged the truth out of these wankers and whatever. I've done my part. Go and display it on Jupiter's or whatever. But according to Jupiter, because of that or whatever, now I've had Teen Tommy on the channel or whatever, She's like inflated her ego or whatever and thought she was Billy Big Bollocks and trying to give it fucking large on Wendy's or whatever, trying to threaten Dave, trying to threaten Crystal. She doxed Crystal. I'm going to go over all this. Unlike you, Jupiter, I'll edit the names out and whatever. But you didn't do that. You thought you was clever, trying to fucking silence Dave and fucking chuck threats about, oh, Team Tommy are watching you, lot, rah, 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 this, that and the other. You ought to be careful going to demos and all this shit. Now, our Team Tommy, I already know this answer, but our Team Tommy are aware that you are running about playing the big I am, like you're part of Team Tommy and all this shit and whatever, running about making threats in their name. Are they? Are they really? Let's reverse it a little bit. Have you told Danny Roscoe that that's what you run about doing in the background or whatever? Bear in mind, half of these things that get put about and said and whatever, early hours and strange hours of the night or whatever, they get deleted, don't they? They get hidden away. Wendy puts hers behind a paywall. So, unless people are going to join up, subscribe, whatever, and pay whatever it is to go behind the paywall, then these things are not going to get seen. And Jupiter's not going to tell people like Danny Roscoe or whatever, yeah, we've been threatening Dave and Crystal. You know, despite Dave having a thriving channel, which highlights a lot of Tommy's work and this, that and the other, yeah, we've threatened him or whatever. We know that he's been to a demo recently and whatever, and we want to make sure that he don't come to any more, because that's how it comes across. It is that simple. There's no good reason for fucking doing that shit other than you wanted to play the big fucking I am or whatever. And then you like, oh, I don't know why Ghost and I don't know why all these people are saying that I'm Team Tommy and I'm Tommy's manager and all this, because you make out that you are these things, Jupiter. They're not just fucking imagining these things. Do you know what I mean? They're doing it because that's how you fucking made it out to be. Now, I knew full well that that was a load of shit or whatever. Yeah, it's just madness. So, for those reasons, mainly, or whatever, I don't hold Jupiter and Wendy in the same category. You can have a good conversation with Wendy, whereas Jupiter, she's literally always trying to point score and twist things to certain narratives and whatever. The review, there's been a few reviews of the one-to-one that myself and Jupiter have had or whatever. All you have to do is look at the review. Do you know what I mean? Do people think one way or another or whatever? People can see, and I've, while reviewing, pointed it out that Jupiter's twisting this and doing all sorts of shit to suit her narrative, and she has done every step of the way, trying to implicate people like Luke, trying to implicate people like Dave, shitting on Taffy, just pure madness or whatever. But then, you know what I mean, she wants to like end up sat back with him or whatever, like nothing's ever happened or whatever. I get why people do. It's become Team A, Team B bullshit, and nobody wants to be on the wrong side of history. But from my mind, you can't be on the right side of history and sat with a wonky cunt that's doing all this vile shit. It just doesn't really work. It dirties your character, rightly or wrongly. Do you know what I mean? And the people that she's done that to don't need that. Do you know what I mean? They can do perfectly well on their own, and they do. So yeah, I think people have made some mad fucking decisions and certain things that's all I can think. It's in the name of tribalism. Do you want to be on this side or that side or whatever? This is why I've said to people from day one, don't pick sides, just stand with the truth, stand with what's right. That's better than anything else, in my opinion. Where was that? So yeah, for those reasons and whatever, that's why I don't put Wendy on the same level as Jupiter or Moon. Now, even little things like that, when Wake Up UK, Jupiter's handler was pretending to be Pixie. When that was happening and whatever, Wendy was the one to pull that or whatever, and she was defending Kayla around that situation. And like she said at the time or whatever, somebody's lying. It's either Jupiter or it's Jason Tyler. It's one of them, because both things can't be true. Now, that's never been answered, has it, realistically? I think that was at the time where Wendy was offering Kayla an iPad or something. So yeah, with Wendy and whatever, Wendy wouldn't have pulled that out, wouldn't have called that out if she was part of that fucked up little fucking that little collaboration that was going on and continues to go on with Jupiter, Wendy, Jupiter and Jason Tyler. Now, Moon's very protective over the Jason Tyler thing and whatever. All these things will be displayed. I've got a lot of fucking stuff to go through. Some will be put in full entirety, just for context, and some will be just sections of fucking whatever that's been said and contradictions put alongside and whatever, just for people to actually get a grip of what's gone on in the past or whatever, because I know people like Nixie are not going to be aware of a lot of the stuff that's gone on, and Jupiter is quite good at remixing and fucking lying and dragging people into things or whatever. Just that alone last night. So whatever's happened with Dave's, and she's been dashed, then we've had a conversation, then she's probably fought in that conversation, or you know, because fucking Den didn't like dig this out or dig that out, and he was trying to smooth things over and whatever. I can use this as ammunition to fire at the people that was helping me at the time. People like Crystal that had made a police report for Jupiter to try and hold somebody to account who dropped that in Discord. So, like I say, Jupiter is fucking so spiteful, so bitter. She'll quite happily go and drag, even Eyes got dragged into it or whatever. She made out like as if it was pre-arranged. Oh, I'll just send it to Eyes. Everyone trusts Eyes and whatever, so I'll just send it to her, and then she can give the opinion on it, and everyone should be cool with that or whatever. Why? 2 years down the line, that'd be as mad as easy making a fucking police report on Taffy 2 years down the line because his son was in danger 2 years ago. That is how mad it would be, realistically. Police are going to look at that and think, well, if he was in danger, he was in danger 2 years ago. So actually what we're going to do, obviously nothing's happened over 2 years, so what we're going to do is arrest you and charge you with neglect of your own child because you've ignored danger, or what you perceive to be danger, based off Billy bullshit. Yeah, you've ignored it for 2 years. Anything could have happened in that 2 years. You're making out he's a dangerous person and this, that and the other. At that point, yeah, we'll do you now for neglect. Now, it wouldn't even affect Easy in that situation. He don't live with him. Much like Moon's fucking child or whatever, they don't live with him. So it would be neither here nor there, but you'd still get the neglect fucking charge on it or whatever. Now, all these fucking issues, all these things, when you stand back and look at it all, it's not very good, is it, realistically? It's one of them, innit? If Tommy Robinson was handpicking his supporters or whatever, would Jupiter be one of the people that you're handpicking? I don't think so. Not unless you're really desperate. Not unless you want to destroy your own fucking movement from within. There's not anybody that can be around Jupiter, realistically, and not see these things for what they are. A few people that have, you know what I mean, that are in Jupiter's community have called her out for certain things and whatever. I know Irish has, I know All Eyes on You has. You know what I mean? The decent people or whatever. The only people that are going to be okay with shit like that are the wonky cunts. People like Lodger and whatever, that makes out he's this big time patriot and whatever. If he was what he makes out to be or whatever, he would have definitely called Moon out the moment she come out and said, oh yeah, well, you know, I know we just did that exposure yesterday of Hope Not Hate and Clown World and all this or whatever, but what I've actually been doing is running around making reports on all these people which have allegedly attacked her daughter. Yeah, I've been reporting them all to Prevent. I've been reporting them all to Hope Not Hate. At that point in time, Lodger, you would have expected, if he was this patriot that he makes out to be, he would have come out and had something to say, wouldn't he? But he just sat there and said nothing. All this time's passed by and he still said nothing, and still cozying up to that fucking horrible, vile, disgusting, old toothless bitch. So, and then you've got that, then you've got that Lils or whatever, which I believe is the daughter, if I'm honest. Them three come as a set. Everyone's noticed that. They come as a set. None of them will call Moon for what she is or whatever. None of them will call anything out. They can't see any bad coming out of Moon whatsoever. Even when she's doing and saying the most vile shit. I'm going to put your kids' pictures on the dark web or whatever. Whether she did it or she didn't, you said it. Give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? The worst shit comes out of fucking Moon. It's a very tight, close competition between Moon and Jupiter. Now, the fact that they're now sat in different camps or whatever, playing all this shit back and forth, it could be real, or it could be fake. It could just be a performance they put on now and again or whatever, knowing full well that all this stuff reflects back onto Team Tommy, because, well, Jupiter makes out she's the fucking big I am of Team Tommy, don't you? All these people are not thinking she is for no good reason. I mean, I supported Tommy for many years or whatever. I still do support Tommy. I'm just no part of the movement, because obviously there's problems or whatever. When there's problems and they don't get addressed and whatever, the decent people come away. I know many decent people that come away. This is the thing, when you don't deal with a problem head on and address it and rip the root out and everything, the end result is good people, even when they put a lot of time and effort and at great cost to themselves and maybe their family and whatever as well. They come away. They just come away from it. They don't want nothing to do with it, and that'll be that. Now, like I say, I know a fair few proper good fucking patriots and whatever that also came away or whatever. This is the thing, when you don't deal with it, the people will just come away from it. It is that simple. And you'll only be left with the people that don't give a shit. Now, if you're going to build a movement off the back of people that are not asked about vile shit going on and whatever, and being represented by shit cunts like Jupiter, then you literally, you know what I mean, you kind of destroying your own group or whatever, and you're doing it willingly. Now, when you've put that much time and effort into supporting whatever, it is a bit disheartening to see these things fall apart, turn to shit, and just retain shit people or whatever. Now, when you've got someone like Danny Roscoe come into the mix or whatever, this is what I said a long time ago or whatever, I can see Danny Roscoe waking up far more people outside of the outside of the white group, if you like, or whatever. Danny will appeal to any race or whatever, but people, you know, whether they be black, whether they be Sikh, whether they be whatever, do you know what I mean, are going to look at it from Danny's perspective and think, well, I might have thought this or that or whatever was racist, but, you know, Danny's like, you know, Danny's not white, he's a person of colour, how can it be racist? Do you know what I mean? And then they have to sort of assess, they listen to what he's saying more, rather than just dismissing it as Tommy Robinson, racist, blah blah blah, everything that they've been fed by the media. They actually take note to listen and think, actually I agree with that, and he's making sense there, and so on and so on. And eventually they agree with more than they don't agree with, and at that point, do you know what I mean, you are switching the lights on to people which may have been unreachable by people like Tommy, just because of all the campaigns that the government and the media and whatever they've done to Tommy. People will just write Tommy off and think, yeah, I'm not agreeing with anything to do with that. Everyone says he's a fucking racist, blah blah blah, usual shit that you get. Whereas with Danny, they're going to relate to it and think, you know, you're the same as me, blah blah blah. If you can think that, and I agree with that or whatever, maybe we should stand together or whatever. And Danny will, in my opinion, he will wake people that Tommy could have never reached, he will wake them people up. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got a fucking an advantage to certain situations, if you like, or whatever. And Danny's a smart guy, do you know what I mean? He did a great speech at the Tommy thing or whatever, Tommy thing, it was arranged by Tommy, but he's done a great speech there or whatever. He's done a few, and for me, Danny just keeps getting better and better and better with time, and his platforms are expanding bigger and bigger and bigger and getting a wider audience every time. It is what it is. Now, this is why I said to Danny at the time or whatever, when you've got people like Bleeding Heart and Esau in the mix or whatever, and Jupiter did enroll them people, Jupiter did enroll Bleeding and Esau for trolling. They did. Now Jupiter can say she didn't, but it's on video. Now, that was the time where myself and Jupiter was having a discussion, and she brought Danny Roscoe on because it weren't going her way, and she wanted Danny to try and reach me on a different level, blah blah blah. And Danny agreed with me. Do you know what I mean? If he would have knew that that's what Moon is about, he didn't know that her daughter, allegedly, is part of the alphabet people or whatever. He didn't have a clue. So when he's doing videos calling these things out and whatever, which he has done rightly, do you know what I mean, pushing it in schools and all this kind of thing, everyone should be against that shit. When he's doing that, he didn't know that Moon's co-pilot was, do you know what I mean, like a fucking one of the ones that beats the fucking drum for that movement or whatever, and runs about making reports on people that do. Now, is it coincidence that Danny then got his fucking collars felt over that situation, intervened, intervention from fucking Prevent or whatever, being hounded by fucking Hope Not Hate and all this shit, private investigators trying to get the details of this, that and the other and all this, whatever. All that shit's come from Moon. Everybody knows that all that shit come from Moon. Now, this is why I warned him at the time, because at the end of the day, if he doesn't know, and I've got as much faith in Danny as I have with Tommy Robinson, why would I not tell him? That would make me an absolute wanker, shit cunt, no good for nothing. What's the point in having the information and not telling the person? That would make you an absolute shit cunt. All day long it would make you a shit cunt. So obviously I was going to tell him. I was glad when she brought him up or whatever. And he admitted, yeah, you know, if I'd have knew that, I would have maybe, you know, it's one of them, innit? Fucking knowledge around certain things, you can kind of, I don't know, not speak about certain things in that community or whatever. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Someone like Moon is literally watching the videos and then moaning about it. Oh, all these people, Tommy Robinson, fucking whatever, they're all attacking my son. Remember all the shit she was coming out with? Oh, the Nazis, this, that and the other, blah, fucking blah. Even to the point where she's calling Veli a Nazi or whatever. It's like, okay, how the fuck is Veli anything to do with Team Tommy or whatever? He can't stand Tommy. He hates Tommy. His own brother turned up with Islamic extremists to what they perceive to be Tommy's family home or whatever. You know what I mean? People seen the fallout of that when I fucking chucked it on Veli or whatever, and he had a little shit fit or whatever about it. It is what it is. It's the truth. So if it's the truth, just fucking deal with it for what it is. Let's not pretend it's something else. Veli's bullshit remix, it didn't work, it don't wash. We are where we are. Now, I don't think Danny and Nixie got on too well at the beginning or whatever, but it's one of them, once you break down the barriers and you get past the stigmas that have been put on people and whatever, once those two people get on, it's like, right, okay, you know, now we can actually have decent conversation or whatever. You remove all the bullshit from around it and you realise, yeah, two decent people, you can have a good conversation around that situation. You know what I mean? For that point in time, it was in everyone's interest, people like Moon and whatever, to cause problems in that. Now they have conversations and get on like a house on fire. I actually think Nixie has got a lot of information there and whatever. I think it was made out to be a certain way, like she just hates Jews or whatever. And it's not, it's Zionism that she's against, and do you know what I mean? She's got every right to be against it. To me, it's an ideology, a fucked up ideology, no different than other fucked up ideologies. You should be against them or whatever. Everyone's going to be different about certain things or whatever, but I think, well, I know from myself, my personal point of view, Nixie's woke me up to quite a lot of stuff that I was just unaware of. Do you know what I mean? I knew from somebody else that's Jewish or whatever that has told me the ideology of the Jewish ideology compared to Islam. She said there's not very much difference or whatever, other than the terrorism, etc. Other than that, there's quite a lot of similarities. That's why she escaped her country and come to this country. Now, for some people, they know who I'm talking about and whatever. Really nice lady. Very knowledgeable about a lot of things or whatever. Now, if that's coming from somebody from that community, then I'm going to take that as gospel, realistically. There's no reason to lie or make it other than it is or whatever. So it is what it is. Now, Nixie's put a lot of stuff forward or whatever. I think, like anyone, she gets trolled or whatever. But I don't think there's anything in there that is a bad thing, what Nixie's putting out or whatever. Nixie's opened my eyes to a lot of stuff around that, like I say, I just weren't aware of. So I will always keep my toe in that pool or whatever, because the more you learn, the more you know, the more you can speak about. If you don't know something about something and then it comes up in conversation or whatever, then it's better to know than not know, innit? All these things could be relevant. Them two ideologies, the people at the top of that could well be doing some shit. They could well be working with each other and playing the people that are under them ideologies off each other. They don't care about people. Do you know what I mean? Ideologies don't care about people. They're not asked what goes on. As long as they get their goals met, they don't give a fuck. So yeah, for me, there's going to be plenty of stuff to open your eyes to around all that. And if Danny and Nixie can get on and whatever, it can only be a benefit. It is that simple. The more divides we can remove, the better, in my opinion. For some people, they want to try and put the divides in, and that's people like Jupiter. She wants to divide everybody up and just get everybody on her little shit fucking team or whatever, and she can say and do the most wildest, fucked up, racist, fucking vile shit and just get away with it. You know what I mean? It's very cult-like or whatever, and the decent people that are in that, it's one of them, you'll see it in your own time or whatever. Once you're around something, it's like Ghost. It will never defend Islam. He'll never have that discussion, realistically, because he knows he can't defend it. For the people around Jupiter, you will find yourself in that same position where you can't defend what's being said and done. You just can't. You may as well be trying to defend fucking Islam. Now, there is a little something happening in the background or whatever. I think Sunday, pretty sure it was set for. Now, after that, regardless of whatever's said, whatever's done, whatever, I will be putting out lots of stuff, and I'll be honest, the reasoning behind it or whatever, I've given this person too many chances, too many clean slates, and within no time at all, they're doing the same shit. They're attacking more people, they're dragging more people in the mix. You're just destroying everything that many good people have fucking built over a number of years. And yeah, I'm sick of it. I've had enough. Like I say, I'm going doing something elsewhere, but I'm not having you destroy everything that good people have put lots of time and effort into. I'm just not. So I'm going to drown you in all your own words. I'm not going to lie about you. I'm not going to fucking come for your family or your kids or anything like that you do. I'm not going to be singing about dead children or anything like that. I'm just going to present your own words and the people around you that you've made out of decent people along the way. I'm going to display all your own words. It is that simple. There'll be no lies, there'll be no deception, there'll be no twisting of narratives or anything like that or whatever. Just literally putting what's been said out along the way in full context. No cutting shorts, no bullshit, no nonsense, no hate campaigns, just the actual facts. So people that are not aware will be aware. It is that simple. And then they can make their own educated choices. I think that's fair. I think that's more than fair. So, yeah, I think that's it. I may well just put a little clip on the end of this, just to show the first bullshit lie that Nixie thought was one way and it was actually the other way. Just so Nix is aware or whatever. Now I'm going to play a couple of minutes where Jupiter and Esau both jump on to Dave's and whatever. And it's one of them, innit? Was Jupiter, like she says, perfectly welcome to come back or whatever, and she left of her own accord. That's what was said. That's what was made out, yeah? Okay.
I've had a few labels from that direction. I don't know how it stands now. I don't know.
Yeah, you've been labelled extreme a few times. Fucking all the rest of it.
It's mad. I don't know. I think a lot of people are playing the enemy of my enemy is my friend, to be honest.
Yeah, of course. Do you know what I mean? Look, I'm sure us just having this conversation in general is going to ruffle a few feathers, right? People aren't going to like it, but do you know what I mean? Everyone's got opinions, right? Some people just don't like hearing other people's opinions, I guess.
Can you hear me, Dave?
I can now, mate, yeah. I couldn't a second ago.
Yeah, it keeps going off. I keep having like a little bar come up with a duck on it. And then it seems to go off or whatever. I don't understand why.
It might be your internet connection.
Right. I am on a phone, but I'm at home. Should drop that. Done it about 4 or 5 times up to now.
Yeah, it might be your connection keeps dropping.
Can hear myself now, back in an echo.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, retard. Dad, you sound like a retard. No, that proper slow retard. I feel sorry for your children, man. If you're like, retards.
What's going on? Hold on, why you turned up together? What's going on?
You're slow and
don't
retarded.
fucking do that. That's the coincidence.
He's slow and retarded. Oh yeah, we're coming to troll you together with teamwork.
Fucking
Fucking
Esau.
I'm your troll shield.
Behave yourself. I'm angry with you at the moment, Esau. What you done to Babs?
Oh, fuck Babs, man. Fuck Babs.
No, I won't.
Fuck Babs.
No.
Fuck
She's an
Babs.
elderly lady and you're doxing her family.
I didn't dox her. A1000 did. And she wasn't doxed. She's a little nut job and her family had to be in contact with A1000.
All Eyes told me, and I believe All Eyes,
All Eyes is a nonce account that's
that I saw, no it ain't, that she saw you.
She's a nonce. She's a paedophile. Just like Helen James.
She saw
What are you,
you
Peter?
Jesus
saying
killer.
that you're going to
What are you
contact
doing?
her family.
You smell 7-year-olds. You
shag
smell
dogs.
7-year-olds.
You shag
smell
dogs.
7-year-olds.
You shag dogs.
You
End
leave
of.
a woman.
Anyway, I'll come back.
You
when
leave
I'm
a single woman at home right now looking after your retard children while you're online trolling. Imagine that. What kind of...
Yeah. Fucking idiot. Has he gone?
Right. Esau's gone.
Right. So, what's I going to say? I understand you don't understand my position. My position's easy, Dave. I ain't got a problem with you. I ain't arguing with you. I couldn't care less about our argument before. I've moved on from that. I don't expect us to be friends. I'm not asking you for friendship. Do you know what I mean? That's it. End of.
Okay.
You know, so if you're getting bullshit fed to you that I'm going after you or I'm involved in anything, that ain't true.
Never said anything of the sort. I was just talking about things that have happened.
Oh, okay. Well, all the stuff to do with Discord was just a fucking shit fest from everybody, not just me. But whatever.
But you did try to make me look like a paedophile.
Well, the way I look at it, Dave, I don't know who it was who done that, but do I think you're a paedophile? No.
But you did. You did try to make me look like.
No, I didn't try and make you look like a paedophile. I tried to make you look like a cunt the way you tried to make me look like a cunt.
It turns out to be Thomas Niedermayer that was doing that by the looks of it.
Oh, was it?
From Germany, one of Danny Jones's crew.
Oh. Well, that wouldn't surprise me.
You look on the account, it's all weird shit. Animal penises and fucking all sorts of weird shit, and German politics in German. So, yeah.
Quick intervention. Is it me or did Jupiter sound disappointed that it weren't like one of the 20 people or more that she'd pointed the finger at? She's like, oh. She did, she sounded disappointed, didn't she? Mad.
That Thomas Niedermayer is a fucking troll. He's been a troll for Danny Jones for fuck knows how long. He thought he doxed me. He doxed where I've gone buy me raw dog food. That was as close as he got.
I think you're a pedophile, Dave. I believe you're the darkness. You didn't report it to the police. But I fucking will. You are a sex offender. You hid behind Louise Brown, and she literally...
So for you to report anything, you have to give your name, you little pedo.
Be quiet, retard. Be quiet, retard. Be quiet, retard. Go and help Ellen. Go and help Ellen. Go and help Ellen. Go and help Ellen, you retard. Go and help Ellen right now. Go and help...
Who's Helen? Who's Patrick? You're a fucking dumb cunt. You're literally a dumb cunt.
Me and them was having a productive conversation, so let's continue with that conversation. But yeah.
Jupiter still present, or is she gone? Or?
Nah, she's gone. She's gone.
You didn't say bye.
No, I kicked her off.
Oh. That'll be wild.
No, look, I can't. I'm not going to friend it with Jupiter, innit? If she wants to come here and have like a disagreement or an argument or something like that, then we can do that, innit? But I'm not like, do you know what I mean? But I'm not like purposely just trying to have an argument with her either.
Yeah. I mean, do you see a resolve there, or?
Nah, no. Fucking, you mad?
No, I'm just asking, innit? Everyone's different. But...
Nah, never. Not a chance, man. When she doxed Crystal, that's it, man. That's like a proper piece of shit.
Yeah, that was mad.
So there you go. Jupiter is welcome back if she's got an argument to have or something like that or whatever. But Dave's not. Dave's not trying to fucking start one or whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. Right, look after each other. Stay safe. Catch you on the next one.